morning, welcome to another episode of the Profit Point Show, where we talk about investments and business. I'll go on break. When we return, we talk about the stock market and the activities that actually happened yesterday and some news regarding some companies listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Then over to sectorial segment, where we talk about manufacturing business. Case in point, bag manufacturing. All of this after the break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Profit Point Show, and I have with me in the studio as usual, Umbrus Omodian. Umbrus, how are you?
Very fine. Very fine.
It's nice to have you back. Thank you. Thank you very much, Umbrus, and thanks for holding these seats down for me.
Good. Good. Yeah.
Okay, so as at close of yesterday, the top 5 gainers at the Nigerian Stock Exchange were F10 Cocoa topping the gainers chart at full 10% up, followed by Ikeja Hotel, then Cornerstone, Linkage Assurance, and Mutual Benefit. And topping the losers chart were Rio Exchange, full 10% down, Japan Gold, University Press, CHI PLC, and eTransact PLC. All of this losers chart. Then for other data for the market as of yesterday, volume was down at the end of the market. Volume was down in Naira value by 4.54%, and by volume it was down by 4.54%, and by value it was also down by 41.21%. Ambrose, what happened in the market yesterday? You guys ran the market down. No, not you guys. You're next up with us.
Yeah. No, that. But if you look at the top gainers and losers for yesterday, I'll tell you there's no big name in that. And also, if you look at the market yesterday, it was marginally down. I'll tell you for the last 3 days, market has been bleeding. Serious one. And I know investors will be worried, but I'll tell them they should not panic at this point.
But market has been hot for a while, so it's not expected that
that's why I say they should not panic. And also, I think people that are following us on this program will have said that when the market was recovering, was not praying that if you break out 39,000 mark, which he did, and cross over 500 before pulling back on the profit taking or sell off in Airtel, that was on Tuesday. Then for yesterday, market tried to resist a further decline to marginally, but it's a sign that market is trying to find level at this point. But every intelligent or knowledgeable investor should take this opportunity to acquire good stock and position for the earnings that is around the corner. And knowing that March account earnings is, by the way, the next before the end of the week or next week, we'll see all of them in the market. For me, it's not a time to panic, but be in good stock and watch the market. And also, if you look at the chart pattern, as an analyst in the market, when you're looking at fundamental, look at the technical aspect of it. If you look at fundamental, it says, the economic recovery is weak, which we know. And also, if you look at crude oil price, it's a plus for Nigeria, almost hitting 75. And I'll tell you now, this is not a time for government to complain that there's no money, because if your budget, an estimate or your benchmark is around $45, you are having oil at $75. For me, it's a plus, but we can't see the difference now because we have not know what they've been done and where they are going. The government is still borrowing from a land that they don't push something to the Senate for supplementary budget to be approved. Fine, and we are still borrowing. But what is, I don't know.
I have a feeling that even if crude price goes to 1 million, we still find something to borrow.
No, that's for fundamental. But technically, this market, if you really want to take advantage of the market, you must understand how to combine fundamental and technical, which I want to explain. If you look at the chart that will be displayed now on screen, that chart you see what we call a double zigzag pattern. Tells you that the market has gone down, formed another kind of waves, and the wave we are at now is pointing that the market is will soon go up in the north direction. That means if you are a serious trader, you don't need to panic at this point. Don't look at stocks that are also shared some prices now that they're expecting the earnings, because this is the general market Osher index action. Call it NGS index action. It's telling you what is happening already in the market. That C or Y at the down, tells you that the market is about to look up if the numbers are expecting beat expectation. And also, nothing has changed that we saw in first quarter a good number, company producing good numbers. Second quarter, nothing has changed in Nigeria. That trend is still there. That means most of them also that reported good number in Q1 are likely to repeat that trend. And don't forget that when the economy is having inflation, there are some sectors that benefit from that kind of situation, even though it's cost of inflation or anything we call it. There are some that are going to benefit from it. You know that yes, cost of production is high, but the way they are passing this cost to the consumer and they are making money. For me, this is how to combine your fundamental and your technical. And now we are seeing the market is about to go up. Looking at the double zigzag chart pattern. For me, I'm very relaxed because I know that it's a opportunity for me to make money in the market. Just go with the trend. Like I always say that in technical, that trend is your friend. If you know that trend is your friend, position at the right time and let go move that trend. Once you move that trend, you want to make money. For me, yes, we saw the gainers. They are for me no big name losers. But what the market is doing now, it has shown a double zigzag pattern that support an uptrend. For me, there's no need of panicking. And also another thing that you don't mention, when you see volume declining, like whatever that volume is the fuel of the market. When you see volume in the market or even in stock, it tells you what is happening. And when you see a buy volume, a sell volume, just a side picture. Yesterday we saw a sell volume and just at a reduced, a decline rate. If you know that yes, something is about to happen. For me, this is not time to panic at all. Just take the right time, buy into right stock and position. Especially if you are really want to retake, inform investigation, this is time to join us. Our coming masterclass, third quarter masterclass are coming on July 3rd, so that you can take advantage of information, knowledge, and tools to make informed investment decisions.
You know why I'm smiling, Ambrose?
Yeah.
Because for the past 40 years, 60 years that you've been in stock, you've never said anything about panicking. Don't panic. Every time it's don't panic. So I'm wondering, maybe when rapture happens, you can
let me tell you.
Don't defend it.
No, I'm not defending you. I want to say something. If you follow the general market trend, when the market is trending up, you move the market. But when market is coming down, you don't catch a falling knife. Sure. You don't play defensive. You need to sell off some position and go and watch until you get to a better level. This is why we don't panic, because you need to do your resistance level and your support level to take your decision. And for that, you don't need to be doing any magic.
just pulling your legs. Okay, so that's that about beginners and losers as for yesterday. On Friday, GTV, that's Guaranty Trust Bank's share, was suspended. The trading was suspended on Friday because they want to delist, or rather GTV wants to delist. That's Guaranty Trust Bank wants to delist from the Nigerian Stock Exchange, whilst the list Guaranty Trust Holding. So they're removing just the bank and they're putting in the whole family. So
I like that language.
Family, Guaranty Trust Holding, OCO. So the companies that will be under the OCO will be the banks, the one in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, the banks. They're going to have PFA. They're planning on actually buying a small PFA and growing it organically, according to report. Okay. Then they also want to buy asset management company, and rumor has it that it's probably going to be Investment One, which was their own before it was sold off. So now it's going to be. It's still a rumor.
Yeah.
People are saying that it's going to be bought back. Then they are going to have a payment company that's going to be similar to Alipay. So that's going to be like international kind of payment system. So all this will become GT ODCO. So what do you think is going to happen here? For starters, let's begin with the stock price. It's definitely not going to be 30 something. I mean, the price they're going to put will be more than that. Or how will it be?
No, as it is now, they are coming back with their normal price.
Still what it is?
What it is.
With all the new...
No, they are acquiring, they are planning. It has not matured. Now, it is when we start saying numbers, that numbers will put the price of 50 naira, 60 naira, but it is the performance that we are looking. And also, the banks also have seen that the market is becoming thick, and they need to also look at elsewhere to kind of boost the bottom line of the company. And that is why they have to go into holding business. That holding business means that, as you just mentioned, others will be contributing to the bottom line at the end of the day. Just like what we saw in Stanbic IBTC, I will see that it's also helping them. What we saw also in the FCMB, at the same time for the First Bank, what is FBN, what's it called? FBN holding. Yeah, But I think if we go into this direction, it's a plus for them. That means they are thinking ahead that, yes, we'll have the name, the reputation, we'll have the technology. Let's find a way of making more money. Like what you just said, if you're able to bring out the fintech aspect of it, the payment platform that is robust, I would say they make good money from it. And that is another way of generating money for them. And for me, it's a welcome development, but investors should not panic, not seeing the normal, darling guarantee on the guarantee trust now. It's coming back as guarantee trust holding, which is good for you because at the end of the day, they are looking at how can we boost our top line and bottom line that we can pay you more dividend. That is trying to create more value for the investor and also the investing public. I mean, the other stakeholder that's involved. For me, it's a welcome development. But I always said that this kind of, a clip that many banks will follow because competition, I've said earlier, is becoming thick in the industry, and they see that branches opportunity for them to make money elsewhere, especially with this new agreement of the Africa trade free zone. They want to do other things that they can take advantage of technology, especially GTV that has been in that space for a long time. For me, it's a welcome development, but investor, just relax your mind that your investment in GTV is still there. By latest, before next week comes out, I think they'll come back as a holding company, which is good. For me, it's a good one, but I will tell you that I believe in numbers. Now we're expecting their half-year result to come, latest second week of August. Let's see if they maintain the tradition of paying their dividend, which I know they won't deviate. They won't deviate because it will send a bad signal. Which they did. For me, at 28 naira 90 kobo, it's not the bad because after the listing and the numbers start changing, I see the company looking upward, and that will be good for investors. That means you as a design investor, traders, should look at your chart very well and start positioning.
Okay. Let me actually, before we go further to the next topic we want to talk about, as Ambrose, an investment analyst. So GTV is growing inwards, like going into, not vertically, horizontally, going into other businesses. If you have to compare that to assets that is swallowing up banks, which one would you, I'm not saying one is worse, we're just looking at, from your own point of view, which one do you prefer?
Yeah, I'll tell you the two for different purposes. Okay, for me, I'll prefer the way of access.
Okay.
You know why I will do so? Your customer base is very important. And the way they are going, nothing stops them also reversing to do the same thing GTV is doing right now. That means they are moving forward in that direction because they've understand the term of merger and acquisition. GTV is going back to what they've done for a long time. That means also there are going to be a lot of, for Access Bank, because they understand merger and acquisition and they are banking it and they are making headway. For me, I prefer their pattern.
Of course, you will prefer. If it was Zenith now, you would say it's Zenith because you like. Anyway, all right, the next topic.
But for me, GTV has a brand that, for me, investors, especially dividend income investor, traders, really because GTV. GTV is a brand that we can at any time identify with. If you go mention one or two banks in Nigeria, GTV is there, then what are we saying?
Yeah, and I'm sure the new businesses they want to go into, they're definitely going to start selling to their existing customers.
Yes.
Who else will they start with?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is, it's been news, rumor, wherever, it's not, but it's been out there for like 2 months.
In Nigeria, especially in our financial sector, when you start hearing rumor, you have to sit tight. But most times rumor will come to us at facts. That means if you are hearing rumor on things, check and start acting. Well, if you're waiting until you see that thing, the boss will leave you at the bus stop. You'll be walking. That means as you are hearing the rumor, start adjusting your investment strategies and start taking steps to take advantage of it.
Regarding this, Union Bank. How old is Union Bank?
I can't remember.
They are up to 30 years?
Yeah, I did my use service in Union Bank. I can't remember. No.
So they should be up to 30 years.
They're more than 30 years. What I mean, it's First Bank. First Bank is more than 20-something years.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I say
Union Bank. So there's news out there that Atlas Mara Limited is an international company, Pan-African company. They actually own 49.9% stake in Union Bank, and they're planning on selling off. And part of the people or part of the companies actually bidding for that 49.9% is Access and Zenith in Nigeria. In Nigeria. We have other banks, Morocco, private equity companies bidding for the 49.9% in Union Bank. So there is the chance that if Zenith or Access wins this bid, I don't know, 49.9% is not the controlling share, but it's a major share. And for a company like Access Bank, they're so hungry. I'm sure if they want to take 1 more percent to crossover, they can easily get it. So there's a probability or a possibility of us saying, oh, Union Bank branches turn into.
If the bank,
if it goes through,
yeah,
and they get 49.9%, and they're able to get 1 more percent to scale. So Union Bank will become Access or Zenith or whoever is taking over.
Yeah.
So, but let's concentrate on Access and Zenith. What do you think the impact will be on an asset that is used to swallowing banks? Yeah, they are used to. I mean, they swallowed Intercontinental. I don't think there's any bank the assets can't try to swallow.
So, yeah.
Let me not say can't. They're just, I don't know what, they just wake up and just say, let's just swallow GTV or swallow. And they just go for it. I mean, they're just,
I like that.
Bold,
they are very ambitious.
They are ambitious, yes.
Yeah, no.
And they always seem to get away with it. So they are used to it. They have a track record of that. The Zenith has been that bank that's just been that bank.
Yes, that
they don't dilute their culture.
Standard,
when you see their standards, they tell very well.
Yeah.
Now they're thinking of Union Bank and Zenith. They just don't look alike.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, if you look at the staff, the mode of operation, it's been a long time that I've entered the Union Bank, so I don't know what happens there right now. But then,
like these days, I think they are one of the best, technology in the banking sector. I don't know, but for that,
even starting from the bank, So now, what do you think is going to happen, Zenith versus Access?
Actually, I think the industry needs also to kind of consolidate and also strengthen their base and also expand for business. For me, merger and acquisition at this point is a welcome development in the banking sector. It makes our bank become stronger to compete any bank in the world. For me, it's a good one. But as we just said, Asset or Zenith Bank, if the thing goes through, it will become the most valuable bank in terms of asset, in terms of profitability, because you're going to rob a lot of things, if the merger stay true or the acquisition stay true. Fine. But let's start from Access Bank that have been in the business of acquisition and other stuff. And also how investors should look, and take decision at this point. For me, if you want to really make more money as an investor for that, I think you'll be considering entering the stock of Union Bank now before the merger straight through. Why? Because as we speak now, Union Bank is selling below 6 naira, and their book value is around 9 naira or 9 naira 8 kobo. And if anybody is coming to acquire, it's part of what they use to price to discuss the valuation at that point. Because when you are talking of book value, between assets minus liability, the words that is written that's on the book, that means any add up there might take it around 10 or 12 naira, but that means if that comes to an it's announced, it will move the price of the stock for people who make quick money and come out. But again, what this will do to Access or Zenith Bank? One, if Access go the way of this, it will be easier for them to take a Union Bank and change it, transform it, because, as you said, they are used to acquiring banks, even both the good and the ugly. But I want to take you back. When they acquire Intercontinental Bank, it took Access time to balance, to find direction. But it was easier for them to acquire Diamond Bank because of the experience they have. And so the technology in Access and Diamond Bank was similar. They can move from the back end, hook their technology and start flowing. And then you see, it's already reflecting on the numbers of Access Bank, starting from last year. See that now they are leading the banking sectors of gross earnings, which only Zenith Bank is going to lead them in the profitability level. That means Access is going somewhere. And Access are acquire even more 2 banks outside the shore of Nigeria, because they are taking advantage of the new trade agreement between the zone, Africa continent, and all the stuff. And also technology is part of what they are right now. For me, it will make Access faster to become, because they made timing to be number 1 bank in Nigeria. If you go and check Access 5 years rolling plan, which I love them for, they will let you see their 5 years rolling plan to see where they are going. They are constantly planning to move to become number 1, and they are heading there if this merger works through. But for me, Zenith Bank going the way of Union Bank to bring Union Bank to, it will take a lot of shaking, a lot of bouncing back and coming from, because they've not done such for a long period of time. And this is the first time, and going in for the first time. And Union Bank has a lot of assets. It's an old bank. For it to change the culture, it also take them time, and that might slow down Union Bank at the first time, but with time they can go. I'm saying that, and also the chances of Access Bank getting Union Bank is high, depending on the bid. If Union Bank bid higher, it's possible, because Access are kind of they acquiring the Atlas holding in other African countries, and they have relationship with them already. It's easier if discussion go to board, depending on the bid. I know that nobody wants to sell his or attend cheaper if somebody that is bidding high. If Access Union Bank is bidding high, they might. But I see that because if that happens in the industry, I just say if that happens in the industry, Access overnight will be a stock that, like for me, you see Access around even 2025, just less than 2 years, sorry. That would be a good return for investors. But another thing is that as they are swallowing, you need to also manage, because at times when you swallow a lot of companies, liability is there, everything is there, you see a lot of things changing. That is why we want to give them for like another 2 years. Let's just see how they're going to fare in the next 2 years. That will determine the. But for me, if a design investor, you should look the way of Access and Senate Bank also at this point, because they are going. And don't forget that the oil price rallying at this point is a plus for all the banks in Nigeria, because most of the banks before now have made provision for bad loans. Now that oil is above $70, I'll tell you something will be kind of dropping back to this bank. It will come in form of profit. And also don't forget that when the economy is recovering anywhere in the world, banks benefit more from economic recovery, because all those bad loans here and there also start become active, they start paying back. And don't forget that in Nigeria, between January and now, we have seen kind of a policy change in terms of CBN policies, in terms of they brought TB rate as low as getting to 1.5, 1.9. The same that was last year, the same but then that January it could move from gradually from a 1.9, 1.5 to almost 9.7, before coming down to 9.65 now. You see that margin, and you know that in the financial world, the banks have the money to do more of a treasury business because they have the fund. And before now, during the COVID, we also that the bank's interest income was dwindling. Now they have seen where they can make money from about 1 point something to 9 point something. For me, it also helps them to boost their life. For me, if you are an investor, don't forget also that banking sector is the most consistent sector in dividend payments, and they are well regulated. Any foreign investor that want to pay will look at the banking sector of any economy, because why? They are regulated, and now in our own, we are seeing that most of them are undervalued in terms of and their performance at full year 2020 and Q1 is an insight of where they are going. For me, despite the missed numbers in the banking sector, this is the time for design investor and traders should look the way of that sector and take advantage of information that we are sharing and the numbers they are seeing to position ahead of their Q2. Those that are into, that have the policy of paying interim dividend, and also their number will support a stronger, payout at the end of the year, because the second quarter or half year result will give you insight to where they are going. And that is why personally I don't play with any quarter when I'm doing my analysis, because it tell you where the company is going. And now that we are coming out with another alternative data to analyze companies, for me, you know what will happen before the number comes to me. Therefore, you have to act fast before they release the number to the market.
Thank you, Ambrose. Okay. I'm not happy that Union Bank is being taken over. I don't want to use the word taken over because it's just, I'm consoling myself.
Are you a shareholder that you make money?
It's just that they've been there for such a long... It's like a bank coming to take over First Bank. They've been there for a long time. And when Access took over Intercontinental, well, they are peers, so they can eat themselves up, diamond. But now Union Bank, because if it can happen to Union Bank, it can happen to First Bank, it can happen to Union, it can happen to any of them. And then
UBA is kind of it's more closer to this
generation. So,
and also, they are UBA before now. I think the vision of their leader or chairman really is paying off for them. Not just like this recent argument I said that we're all looking at in the continent, Africa continent. They move to almost I speak now have about 26 African countries where they are present and operating, and that is about 39 to 40% to the bottom line of UBA. And this money won't come in naira because they are not operating there. They come in dollar, and that would be a plus for me for UBA. And that is why Access is looking at we must have branches here, because if you are in Africa, you have branch account in UBA, you are doing business in Togo, in Ghana, you don't open another account. It will run like that. For that, you're not taking money from UBA to Zenith Bank. That means, and that's why every bank will iron less outright so that we just say, no, for me, so they can't develop.
What I took from here is that I don't know if, I'm just putting myself, if I were Union Bank, okay, I don't want to be acquired by Access Bank and Zenith Bank because they are competitors. Okay. And you've been there for such a long time. It makes me feel like, did we fail? Do you understand? I'm just going from a point of view, being there for such a long time before maybe the current MD of these banks were even born. And here they have.
Even though they have worked with you.
Yeah. So, maybe like, and I'm like, okay, many people go into businesses. That's the point I want to bring up. Many people go into businesses and at the point of wanting shareholders or wanting partners. They just want the money. There is no foresight of what can happen if this partner checks out.
Yeah.
Do I want to have an agreement where if you want to go and I'm not taking it over, you can't sell to my local competitor?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because I really would prefer a foreign to take them over and still look at Union Bank like, oh, is Union Bank without Access, Zenith?
Just say you have made just a valid point here. If Access or Zenith Bank acquire that 49 and they shape their body like this and get another 3 from any other person,
they have controlling. They can
change the name. They are changing the name to Zenith Bank or Access Bank. It's as simple as that. And any of them that skate through this thing, that will be a key.
Huge plus. I mean, First Bank will just start scratching their head. These boys are doing
First Bank by now, I think they should be looking inward seriously and doing a lot of consultation how to move forward, because I'm not seeing innovation in that bank enough, and they need to make some consultation and see what, because they have a lot of advantage to their side. They are not taking. No, you are not taking advantage of it. For me, for example, now looking at the network of First Bank, nowhere in Nigeria that you enter, you don't see First Bank. How is it playing up in their number? We are not seeing. But for me, like this oil price being up, it's a good plus for First Bank, because First Bank is highly exposed to oil sector. But if they can get something, that will help them more, because they made provision before now. For First Bank to be in operation after they make provision by almost 200 billion, 100 billion at once, they are still operating so that they are strong, but they need to move to the next level, so that this small band that just started with them, now you can see look at the price of Access Bank, look at the price of Zenith Bank, look at the price of Union Bank and First Bank. You can see that they are different. And why? It's perception. And also the shareholding structure of these banks are different. You need to look at, for me, First Bank need to do a lot of, First Bank holders need to do a lot of things to bring the bank, because I tell you, the other family members are the work contributors. Especially now they also sued their insurance of recent. For me, they need to sit up so that they can,
they are losing weight.
Yeah, they are exactly.
They are losing weight. And when they become too slim, they will be easy to stop. Anyway.
They have vision. I like those guys. They are very smart.
They are hungry.
No. They are smart.
They should just not reach out for GTV.
No. GTV will have smart guys there too now.
Good.
All the new banks, Access, Zenith Bank, UBA, GTB, fine. But the one thing that I tell you that the way of Fidelity is one of the leading second-tier banks. You know that we can't classify Stanbic among any of the first-tier or second-tier banks, because it's on its own now, because it doesn't. We can't say Stanbic is a second-tier bank. It's not possible. But for me, I see that Fidelity has potential. I mean, if you are really designing this time, you also take up, because the way they are going. The bank is really looking forward, and I see the vision of the new MD. For me, also, let's look the way of that bank too. And UBA is a good bank also to consider.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, Ambrose.
Thanks for having me.
All right, this brings us to the end of the segment, stock market segment. So go on break, and when we return, we go into the secondary segment where we talk about bag making. After the break, we'll be right back.